Good morning, Facebookers. Good morning, Instagram. Thank you for joining me this morning for day 2 on how to become a time warrior as opposed to a time worrier, which lots of people most definitely are. Worry about time, let time get away with them. It's really funny, the expressions we have about time, and that's one of the things I would really invite you to think about. We spoke about this last week, about the words that we use. 15,492 is the average amount of words a person in a university in Arizona speaks every day. Now, I don't know how many words you speak every day, but often the words we speak massively shape our life. And it's really interesting where you hear people say things like, I don't have time, because what does that actually mean? And that's what we're going to be looking at today. The greatest excuse in the world is, I just don't have time. What does that actually mean? I just need to share this in 2 other places, and then we can get properly started in this presentation. So let us know right now how you feel about where you are right now. So right now, in this moment, it's one of the most powerful questions you can ask a human being. How do you feel about where you are right now? Let's just share that with everyone else that's here. What's the first words or images that come to mind when I ask you, how do you feel about where you are right now? And one more place, and we're ready to rock this party. I would encourage you to take notes. It's one of the things that we always encourage everyone to do on here, to take good notes. One of my mentors, who I never actually met, Mr. Jim Rohn, an incredible man, someone who I've copied and watched and mentored. And this is something you might want to write down, even though you might have written it down before. And this is it. Observe the masses and do the opposite. Observe the masses and do the opposite. Now, if I was to ask you how people are feeling right now, look, it's under pressure, frustrated. How else? Everyone, just get this out. How do you feel about where you are right now? Frustration, ready to rock my life. Just look at all the different people. Awake, inspired. Just the word to describe how you feel. Ready for a good day. You see, when it comes to time management and becoming a time warrior, energized, challenged. Good morning from Spain. Well, I hope if you're in Spain that you feel great, because it's often only when we go away that we often feel great, rather than feeling good about where we are right now. So this is day 2 on how to become a time warrior. Yesterday, I mentioned about a weapon that you can use, an imaginary sword, a sword that you could take to your future when you realize that you're going into the future way too much, or you're starting to go down roads, you're starting to focus on things that really are not going to take you to a place where it is that you want to go. The biggest excuse that you'll ever come across really in life is people say, I just don't have time. Now, when we look at time, time is something that man has created. Time is something, cats don't necessarily relate to time, or dogs or any animals. They relate to time, but in a different way to how we relate to time. I don't think animals will put them under pressure and tell themselves they don't have time. You see, when it really comes down to you being the very, very, very best that you can be, there's a key word I want you to write down, and that's called significance. Significance. As you start to become aware, is really what is significant in your life that demands your attention. So we all have more time. How many hours are there in a day? There's 24 hours in a day, which makes 168 hours in a week. So how many hours do you spend sleeping? Well, if you're the average, maybe you have 7, let's say 8 hours. If you're fortunate enough to have 8 hours sleep, or you work 40 hours a week, what does that add up to? Well, it leaves you with 72 hours in your week. 72 hours. Now, what are you doing with those 72 hours? Now, you can say, well, I've got kids, I've worked more than 40 hours. Okay, however much time, this is what I want you to become more aware of. is how much time do you actually have? And this is one of the things I wrote down this morning. It just blew me away. We don't build the life we want by saving time. Think about this. We don't build the life we want by saving time. We build the life we want, and then time saves itself. Let me say that again. We don't build the life we want by saving time. Oh, I need to save time. We build the life we want, and then time will take care of itself. So we have to think about what is the life that we want to build, because I think many of us feel that life is something that is just happening to us, and we get caught up. We've got more labor-saving devices than ever. I want all of us to take what we think about time management and flip it on its head for the next couple of days as you become a time warrior. You become elite in the way that you think about things. And this is one of my big goals in helping as many of you as I possibly can, is for you to be able to start looking at things differently. Because we often think about a to-do list is time management. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with writing a to-do list. In fact, it's very therapeutic. When you cross off something on your to-do list, you get a rush of dopamine. We love the feeling of completion. But what we have to really work on, if we want to be the very best that we want to be, and let me ask you that question. How many of you are here because you want to be the very best that you can be? And why do you want to be the very best that you can be? Really, really important questions, because let's look at what happens. Now, how many of you have ever heard of a fish called the hagfish? Has anyone ever heard of the hagfish? Anyone? Well, what's a hagfish got to do with anything? We know that one of the biggest things that we say is we don't have time. Now, we do have time because we waste time. So of those 24 hours in a day, 168 hours a week, there is 1,440 minutes in a day. There's 10,080 minutes in a week. We have a lot more time. But what we do, and this is what we all know, we waste time. Because we talk about diseases, right? We talk about a disease, something a disease that is an epidemic or pandemic. Well, we obviously know diabetes. What else is an epidemic? Obesity. These are massive, massive issues. But there's another issue that we don't really talk about very much, and it's how much time we spend wasting time. And if we really own up to this and say, you know what? I do waste a lot of time. So how much time do you actually have? This is what I want you to become more aware of. And with the time that you have, what is significant? And this is, I observe people who are really good at this, and I really admire people who can block out what is not important. See, it was the Industrial Revolution where everything started to speed up. Oh, how much more can we get out of people? How much more? So it's like everyone was on a treadmill going so fast and often really just going nowhere, because we have to ask ourselves some questions. What is really significant? What is really important? You see, the hagfish is a fish that lives in the bottom of the ocean. It's very, very prehistoric. It's actually got a skull, but it's got no vertebrae in its body. It's got these incredible teeth, and it devours animals. And it will often go into the orifices of animals and eat the animal from inside out. Now, have you ever eaten a hagfish? I don't know anyone that has. I'm sure people have. It lives right down in the bottom of the ocean. Listen, my point here is we let hagfishes into us. See, this is what happens. Most of you know this. We get out our board. I just want to make sure that you guys can see what I'm drawing here. So My365, we are committed to being here, helping you be incredible, achieve your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, and we're going to be here, for another 365 days, taking you and your life to a whole new level, as you know, with a world-class coach, with world-class information, with a brilliant community, and brilliant masterclasses to bring to life. We are about to take this to a whole new level. But think about this for a moment, right? Here you are, right? In fact, let me draw how I'm now drawing people. So you think of something that you want, and you get fired up, and you think, yes, I'm going to do this. We call this, you've got the hero mentality, but you're only a hero at the beginning, because then what happens is quite quickly, this you starts talking to this you, saying, what are you doing this for? Why are you getting up that much earlier? Why are you watching this crazy life coach every day? Why don't you just spend a few more minutes in bed? Why don't you just go and look at this? Why don't you go and look at that? So when people say they haven't got time, just imagine this. How many of you have ever said that you haven't got time? So imagine going to work or leaving the house and coming back and your house is flooded. What would you do? Would you say, look, I haven't got time to do this. I just haven't got time. I haven't got time, and you just leave it. No, of course you wouldn't. You would find the time. You would make the time, because this is significant. In fact, it's beyond significance. It's an absolute priority. And this is where we get to look at things from a different perspective, because people create the time if it is a crisis or if it's an absolute must, or it's something they enjoy doing. You still, I would imagine, make the time to do the things that you enjoy doing. There's probably lots of things that you enjoy doing that you don't do, but there are things that you can do. You enjoy getting that dopamine hit where you see a message on WhatsApp or Facebook, or something that takes your attention, where you let the hagfish, which is like this, it's a big eel with a horrible kind of head, prehistoric kind of mouth. You can go and Google it, and you let the hagfish go into you, and it eats you up inside and stops you from achieving your goals and your dreams and your ambitions. And you keep doing this. You do it day after day, week after week, month after month. You keep doing it. You let the hagfish in, don't you? You destroy your own great intentions. You have great intentions, but you fail to follow through. Why? That is a really, really good question. And that's something I want to help all of you address, to find the part of you that realizes, whoa, I'm getting distracted here. Whoa, I'm taking my sword to this. It is a disease. If you don't see distraction as a real major challenge, then you will continue to be consumed by it. The other day I was in, where was I? I was in Nottingham, and I was in the Village Hotel, and I went to the toilet, and there was about 8 young people all around each other. And I was going to take a picture with my phone, ironically, and every single one of them was on the phone. They were not engaging with each other. They're distracted from each other. They're not communicating with each other. So I want you to think about your hagfish. And when do you let the hagfish come in? So today, picture in your mind when you feel that your attention is just going somewhere that is not useful for you. And imagine you could take your sword to the hagfish and chop the head off the hagfish and go back to focusing on what is really, really important. I promise you, tomorrow we'll take this to a whole new level. I have that picture behind me there, the hagfish. Does this make sense to everyone? This is what we do. We eat up. We destroy our great intentions. And my challenge to all of you is to let's take this to a whole new level. Let's become someone that starts. You see, this is what I mentioned yesterday. If you remember, that when you want something enough, you'll do it. And this is really incredible. Laser beams of energy when you want something. If you take a magnifying glass and it's sunny, and you take that magnifying glass and you let the sun go through the magnifying glass onto a dead leaf, you can burn that leaf. And that's what we can do when we want something enough. We've got to want something enough more than we want to do the little things, in many cases, that distract us and take us to places that we really don't want to be. That is an unfulfilled life. A life of fulfillment is when you decide certain things that you want so much that you're prepared to do whatever it takes, even when you feel that yourself get distracted. So I really hope this makes sense to all of you. As most of you know, this is it. We've got 2 more days of live broadcasts, of doing live broadcasts every single day. So here's my little pitch to all of you that haven't taken advantage of what we're about to do. So on Thursday, it is the last My365 public broadcast that we will do on a Thursday. Every Monday, I'm going to broadcast to the world, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it is just for elite. Just for elite. What does elite mean? It means you pay £19.97 a month to have me as your coach, have a community of like-minded people, and some incredible masterclasses that we've put together. And you and I and a group of people are going to work every day for 365 days. Take a moment to think about what your life would be like if you really went to work on yourself, if you showed up every day. Just imagine in 1 year what you could achieve. Last night, I interviewed one of our elite members, Sarah Jane Woods. What a great interview. A woman who's lost over 24 pounds in weight, paid off huge amounts of her debt. She's found her purpose in life. And that's just one of so many people who have achieved so many great things by being elite. I believe elite is your opportunity to have access to the king of coaching. The king. I am the king. Like I say, there might be other kings and queens, but in my world, I am the king of coaching, and I will give you the best of the best. Take advantage of this opportunity. Dive in, give it a go, get involved with us, and let us help you achieve an unbelievable life. Most of us know we're letting the hagfishers in. Most of us know we're not paying full attention to the greatness that we have and the ability that we have. There is nothing different between you and someone who has had great success in their life, apart from, in many cases, coaching, having a big enough reason, being surrounded by like-minded people. And I'm amazed by what we've created in this period of time that we've been doing this. It's been brilliant. It's been emotional. Click on the link in the post. Get involved in being elite. And I will see you tomorrow, day 3. Let's take our swords, our hagfishers, and start working out really what is significant and where we need to focus our attentions. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's go fishing for hagfish, and let's be the very best version of ourselves. Thank you. I'm so fired up. Consistency and distractions are my areas of improvement. Yeah, absolutely. We've all got things to work on, and I've got better, and I know many of you have got better. Get involved. This is it. This is the real deal. Goodbye, Instagrammers. Let's just make a very quick. Let's do this. Actually, here we go. So this was day 2 on becoming a time warrior in your life. And that doesn't make any sense because it's what's on that side of the board. We've been talking today about hagfish. Actually, let's start again. Let's start again. I didn't keep my finger down on the button. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So this is day 2 on how to become a time warrior. The biggest excuse under the sun that anyone will ever say is they will tell you they haven't got time. Everyone has time. We've got time right now. It's what you do with the time. If a massive crisis happened, you'd find the time to deal with the flood in your house. If it was something you really, really, really enjoyed, or something you were addicted to, you would find the time to do it. In terms of us finding the time to do the things that we know we need to do, even if we don't feel like it, that's where we need to become a time warrior. And that's where we need to become aware of hagfish. What are hagfish? Hagfish are fish that live in the bottom of the ocean that go into the orifices of animals and eat the animal from the inside out. That's what we do with distraction. Let's keep working together. Tomorrow we'll go into more detail about what you can do to effectively manage your time more effectively. Have a great day. Thank you for being here. Much love to all.